right team. Of course, we have an in-house team of individuals. We have property managers, we have area managers, we have regionals. Some of the other folks you saw on our leadership team are consultative social resources for us. But when you're bringing on a property manager, let's take it as that's probably the most relevant example. It's really important. They are the face of you. They're the face of your property. They are the first line of communication to your tenants, to your prospects. So that person is really important. As far as increasing cash flow, can't think of a more important area to focus on is your customer service, customer support person, right? So hiring the right person, making sure we have the right job description, defining what those roles and responsibilities are, making sure that's clear to the individual. We like to get it out there on Craigslist, advertise, market, to get the right prospects and interests. We sift through the resumes to make sure we get the most qualified individual. And then we start into the phone screening. Because that person's going to be on the phone, right? They're going to be the one talking to your prospects. If you have vacant units, how are we going to get them filled if we don't have the right person on the end of the phone who's friendly and courteous and excited about talking to that individual, right? And selling that unit. So phone screening is key, and interviewing them through the entire process. Trusting the process. We often get a connection, and then there's that chemistry we can fall back on, right? But it's important we lay out the key questions, that we interview everybody consistently, that we have a weighting and rating to those questions, and we have a quantitative result, so we know who's really the best qualified individual. So really trusting that process is important. Once you've shortlisted those key individuals, then bringing them in for a face-to-face interview is important as well, and finding out how they answer those questions, body language, and all of this. Doing background checks is vital. Calling their prior employers, right, and really doing your due diligence, because there's nothing more costly, right, than having the wrong individual managing your asset, right, at the property level. So once you've landed on who that individual is, setting them up for success is very important, right? Too often do we hear the stories of, well, I don't know, they didn't do anything. Well, how'd you train them? How'd you bring them on board? What was the culture you created, right? Those are all really important things, how you set that individual up for success. And do you have a succinct process to do that repeatedly over and over? Because you may hire once, but life changes. The reality is people get married, people move, people change jobs, right? So really understanding the hiring process and having it tight is important. So these are a few items that we put down these are a few of our key steps in our process. Really, day one, the meet and the greet. Week one, going over the task level details and the strategies of what their job is and what's expected, what the goals are, right? Reviewing the job description. And then there's that nesting period. It's doing the training of all those different task level details. They're not gonna nail it after the first overview on the procedures, but nesting. That's the over-the-shoulder training. Rose is fantastic. She runs the operations for us, right? It's really making sure that they're doing it and have somebody there to call or lean over the shoulder and make sure it's right? Because you don't want any mistakes. You have to be compliant, again, with fair housing, and ADA, employment laws. It's all very important, right? So compensation and bonus. Compensation should be based on what kind of behaviors you want to achieve, right? So if you want to incentivize them for leasing, then you're probably going to have a lot of leasing going on. So if you want to incentivize them for having 100% full property, then you're probably going to have 100% full property. So incentivize the behavior you want. That's very important. Compensate them per labor laws and standards, right? That's the base. But the bonus should be more about the behavior you're looking for. So think about it that way. Maybe a $100 bonus for having 100% collected and full property. That might be great. They would love it. You would love it, right? That makes a big difference in your cash flow. So incentivize the right behaviors. And then culture, right? Some people think of culture as, well, you got your paycheck. That's not really it, right? There's a lot more to culture in a company than we pay them. or we've taken care of their questions. It's about recognition, right? Today, the millennials that are in the workplace are probably going to be your employees of the future if they're not already. They want to collaborate. They want to come together. They want to share. They want to synergize, right? They want to be recognized, right? So recognize birthdays, recognize anniversaries, recognize new hires. It's a little things, right? Just come together. We like to have lunch meetings, for example, bring everybody together. We talk about the updates. We recognize all these special events that are going on in our company, our family, right? So make a point to do maybe consider a little over and above, right? And it goes a long way because it gets you retention, and retention is a big thing. Turnover is very costly. So again, we're always talking about how does this impact cash flow? Your employee is a direct line to how your property performs